sanibonani imolweni emakhaya kuzo zonke nje indawo enibukelene kuzo yeyeye sisezola namhlanje laphaya eSoweto wonke umuntu kudala sigcinile ukuze Soweto but we're here namhlanje ke besinemhlangano omkhulu bekuhlanganiswa befundisi community Sisonke nama sex workers sixoxa ngezinto ezi-affecta sex workers, especially around issues of human rights, violation of human rights and so on. Angihambi ngedwa ke ngixolele ngeduku lami namhlanje mina izinto ngizithatha serious. Ngifuna baqale ngami. If kune discrimination mabaqale la. Angihambi ngedwa ngihamba nabantu abazo unpacka lo mhlangano besinawo ukuthi lo mhlangano bekungani and eziphi izinto kahle hle bekukhulunywa ngazo la ngoba siyayazi ukuthi kubalekile ukuthi amadoda mayihlangene noba sithi sukuma ndoda sakhe njalo njalo kodwa amahlangene amadoda ebuhlanti thina sikhuluma izinto ezisiaffectayo singama client this time around so siya affecteka and kuthiwa yithi ababulala abantu okay ngicela nje uzintroduce lapha emakhaya but also usho ukuthi uphuma kweyiphi organization and usho mhlawumbe ukuthi why i-decrim is so important, why this thing is urgent, because siyabona ukuthi khona into engahambi kahle. I mean ibill ushilo omunye la we-community ukuthi le bill kudala ihlele eParliament, but why decrim is so important?
Positive and creation energies to you. My name is Nicoline Lungiswatro. I am from Ngumntu Ngabantu Foundation. We deal with the social ills of the community, and sex work is one of them. The reason we're dealing with the social ills of a community is because we're realizing that most of our problems, they stem from human behavior and character. We've been a people that have been conformed to a certain way and a certain type of living. I've heard people talking and I've realized one thing. When it comes to sex work, we need justification. I am a sex work because of my circumstances. I am a sex work because I want to. You need to justify why are you a sex worker. So for Tina as Ngumntu Ngabantu Foundation, our point of departure is Ubuntu. We need to revive Ubuntu Betu. That's where discrim comes in. That we need to be able to have a voice that speaks for everyone, for every human being. And how are we going to have that voice that speaks for every human being? It is to realize who we are as a people, where we are coming from, where we are at, and where we are going. Okay. Sex work ayonto ya namhlanje, into that has been there from decades ago.
Yes. Leadership, why this campaign is so important that you are now mobilizing even faith leaders to support this initiative. Ngicela introduce as well.
Nkosi kakhulu Prof. And Nguloyiso Saliso and the program manager Sisonke National Movement of South Africa. And it's important for us to rally around decriminalization of sex work because sex workers are humans. Sex workers are people who are actually part of the constitutional human rights. And they are just like me, you, and everybody else. Sex worker. Also, if we can respect the violation of any other persons in any other professions, human rights, why can't we do the same for sex workers? I think it goes what Lucis is saying, that you have to justify being a sex worker, but you don't have to justify being a doctor or being an accountant. Also, it is important that we rally for the decriminalization of sex work because it doesn't only protect sex workers, but it also protects the clients, which is the men, as we said, Prof, earlier on, that as the men, we are the clients. But it's not only men who are clients, there are women who are clients as well. Yeah. And it protects them not only in the sense, because sometimes you will find in Durban a male sex worker may violate their female client because of the power dynamics that they are there. And yonke loo nto leyo. So it doesn't only protect us to decriminalize, but it also protects you as a client as well.
Before ngiye kulabo baba laba, you talked about something very important, ukuthi even those who are in parliament, sometimes bayasho ukuthi let's support sex workers, but manje awuphinde leya nto leyo ngoba ngifuna ukukhuluma nale politician masiqeda la.
Enye into is that njebana we have the Cinderella right now that is actually, our partner organization, religious leaders, which is something that a lot of people are probably like, yo, hayibo abefundisi abasupport sex workers. But this is really a time where we need to change things around. And so we also experience political parties which always use abantu to get by the way. Because nxa ixesha lo campaign abazakuthi into yobana sihamba nani after befumene ivote yabo nepower yabo abanazi nonazi. And currently right now we also have political parties that say we also are pro sex work. Even the current leading or governing party, it has it in its manifesto in the banner, we are for the decriminalization of sex work. But when it gets to parliament, vote in the banner, which organizations or parties are pro decrim, what do they do?
Okay.
So if you want our vote, why do you want our vote but you don't want to advocate and push for our human rights to not be violated?
Before siye kwi break ngifuna sikhulume nale political party ngoba sithe masila eSoweto kwangena inye political party satshela ukuthi angeke siyeke. Nenzani? Yini le nenzani dlala ngabantwana? Nithi na supporter, sometimes aniba support akusinike nje ukuthi mhlawumbe uluvo lwenu, fortunate nawe uyindoda. Uluvo lwenu nina njengama political parties ukuthi when are you frustrating this? Because people are being killed, people are dying. We are collecting bodies of women almost every week, if not Mondays. What are you saying as political parties?
It is very sad.
Dr.
Mtimando Wakangwenya, Provincial Convener, Gauteng Province, we African Transformation Movement. It is very sad because if you are talking about the parliament, ukhuluma ngendlu where people are powerless. Because remember, for instance, as kulumeng expropriation without compensation, the ruling party has been there by a 3/3 majority, but as to pass. The very same thing you are saying in their manifesto, it is written, we are pro decriminalization of sex work. But makufika lapha kuyovotwa, it is only the majority that wins. Therefore, Tina, as the ATM, we've been in parliament since 2019, but we've got only 2 seats. That means our voice is very limited. That is why we are using this space in our communities to say, we don't even actually want to advocate for decriminalization. We want to say, government must make the country work. Because it's more of circumstances than choices by sex work. So because I don't want to believe if abantu besifazane and males in the sex work space, if they were financially viable, bebezongena sector le bayithathe as a career. So Tina City akulunge
mhlambe sizobuyela kulokho ngoba this is pure business.
Yes.
This is pure business. Mhlambe sizobuyela si unpack kahle ngoba kuyabonakala ukuthi iunderstanding yethu ayifani. Ngizobuya ize ngisafuna ukuhlala kulabo baba. Maybe at some point I will talk to my producers ke sihlanganise ama political parties in one room with all of us so that sekukhuluma ngama tongues. Gama lami ndingumbulo Lodyasi, stay tuned. Sibuyile breakini kuyashisa la ne community ngibona sebephakamisa izandla kodwa bebekhulumile kuqala. It's okay. As Sanarela, you are a chaplain. Siyabona ukuthi abosisi bethu nabobhuti bethu sometimes bayidinga ne counseling and so on. Why ni difficulty kangaka as men? Uyindoda and singama clients. Why ku difficulty kangaka to support this initiative? Senza lento bekhulunywa ngayo la Money City.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Abubakar Sibela. I am part of Sanarela. But let me start by saying that the reason why is difficult is because of we as men don't want to own up.
Okay.
That is the first thing. Secondly, why is it difficult? Now I'm going to religious leaders. We are biased.
Yeah.
That is the second reason why is it difficult. And we are pushing a narrative that suits us. So that's the third issue. And when I say we are pushing a narrative that suits us, it is because we want to be seen to be right in the eyes of others. But here is the...
Elections, it is by scaling.
Yes, by
So
scaling.
by scaling, ningabefundisi.
Yes, yes. But now, here comes an issue that is very important. I can be biased to you, but my relationship with God and how I treat others doesn't have to be biased. Because we all understand that God is for all of us, irrespective of our circumstances, irrespective of our likes. So what is important with us is equal rights, justice, and love for all. Remember, every individual that is here is created in the image of God.
Everyone.
Everyone,
Yeah.
irrespective. Whether you are a sex worker, whether you are a person who takes drugs, whether you are living with HIV, you are a human being and you are loved by God. And we are here as religious leaders to say, we are here to champion and advocate for the rights of everyone, irrespective. And this is a mission even that was done by all prophets in the Bible, in the Quran. They were here to bring the message of hope. They were here to bring the message of love and kindness, and that is why we are here. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much. Masiphinde sibuyele kuwe, Mama Ngadi, you want to say something?
I would like to outline the fact that the church played a huge role in the discrimination of sex workers. It played a role, religion also played a very huge role in the illusion of what sex workers is. Nalendo yokokuba kubekho that hierarchy, that men are heads of the families, that made women now to suffer and to find ways, alternative ways to match up. But then when you look into the nature of the Creator, it had put us in a not in a compatible way, in the same level that I am because you are. That's why we are advocating for Ubuntu. And when we talk of Ubuntu, we're not talking of a slogan. We're talking of a philosophy that binds our thoughts, our speech, and our action. So when I say I am because you are not higher than me. So everything that I do, I should not be seen as if now it's taboo when women love sex, that it's taboo that when women are choosing sex as a career. You were asking the gentleman with ATM over there. He could not even say that us as an ATM, we will stand, as much as we are a minority, we will stand in parliament and say, we are for the sex workers. We are for the decriminalization of the sex workers. He is saying that we advocate for fix the country, which means he still has this illusion that in order for you to be a sex worker, it's because
You raised this issue of political parties. Do you feel good about abantu laba?
Absolutely, all the time. Bangoluma, kuthiwa ngesixhosa baluma bevuthela like igundwana, you know, igundwana malikuluma likuvuthele. Though that's what political leaders or the political parties do. But I think also to what you were saying in terms of Ndebana, the religious space as well has a very big influence in society as large, you know. A lot of political parties run to the church when they want votes.
Yeah.
Funny enough, right? The religious space is the one that actually kind of like spearheaded a lot of things that are unjust in society, because it was put and framed, in order for it to be okay, it must go according to this norm that is biblical or Quran or whatever, or this social right thing. So that's why I said that when I first worked with Sanarella, I was very taken aback and surprised and very grateful, because I also understood that this partnership and the work that they do is decolonizing a religion. To say in Durabana, I'm not going to say I'm okay with a person or selutywala, because khona ubishop apha bethe into yobana mna ndimane session ecaweni yam iservice abantu abaselayo nyhani umuntu asela ngalazi noba ungubani na ndibathandazele. And now he says into yobana I'm now going to have also a service for sex workers, you know.
But sake sibuye size kula befundisi. Stay tuned, igama lami ke Ndingumulo Lojasi, make sihambise idolo. Ake sibuyile eyitolo, ngifuna ukuzwa kuleli side. Ngiyanibona ukuthi nayithanda le topic. Yeah. Befundisi bami uzwile ukuthi bathini ngama political parties, and you must pull up your socks, guys. You can't behave like this. Manifuna ama votes nikhulume kamnandi nabantu seniwatholile ama vote niza nama excuses. But nje ukubheka phambili nicabanga ukuthi yini efuneka yenziwe ukuprotecta impilo zabantu ke manje. Siyayibona le decriminalization ibaleka idepende kumhlambe kubantu abazowina ama elections, but ukuprotecta impilo zabantu senza kanjani, especially thina singamadoda?
It is very important when a prof mhlambe nje ngigqithe not to create dialogue. Ukuthi Tina is the ATM, we are not here by default. We have received an invitation, and the invitation was very clear. Ukuthi kuzokhulunywa ngani. So that is why we are here. We are very clear and sober about that. Why I was mentioning that, and I've also said ukuthi we are championing it on the ground because of the circumstances Gupi in Parliament, but we are for it-a-cream. And that is why sizoqhubeka si ATM simove nemphakathi ephalaphala issue ephalaphala ihlule majority parties, but seat esi ATM esibhizi ngayo the very same strength and breadth esibhizi ngayo ngephalaphala with these two seats. It's the very same breadth esizoqhubeka ngayo to say sex work must be decriminalized, because isikhuluma ngabo dadewethu, and ngishilo boldly la ukuthi thina yithi esithenga lesitoko singama clients, and ngiyisho futhi on record ukuthi labantu abantu this imshadi mile imiswe ile sector. So that is why bengithi it is because of circumstances and there is a choice. Bengiphendulela kuma circumstances. So and thina as the ATM city umuntu obulalayo akabulawe, because bayabulawa ama sex workers ngoba abantu bafuna ukudla isitoko mahala bengabhadali. Nabo mama benza the very same thing, bayeza ngapha bazosithenga mase kumele ukuthi abhadale, it becomes a problem ngoba uyazi ukuthi they are protected by ama boys. Kushoda wona la ukuthi sizokwazi ukuthi siqhubeke kahle ngalento. So what we are saying thina sithi I capital punishment mayibuya, awukwazi ukuthi wena you've got the right to life whereas ukwazi ukubulala omunye umuntu. So if capital punishment can be brought back in our country, kuzoyeka ukuthi abantu babulawe irrespective of ukuthi ba affiliate or basebenza ngani.
I hope one day sizonibiza nonke as political parties. I hope nenkosikazi yami lapha ekhaya ubukele ukuthi kuthiwa imishado inzima. Bake size kulo baba ke siza ukuthi nithini nina manje moving forward. Senza njani to ensure ukuthi ukubulawa kwabantu eMzansi while silinde iParliament ukuphasisa lo mthetho, ngoba i-Constitutional Court of Justice is failing in the past, but manje sidepende with South Africans ukuthi zesinike direction.
All right. The first thing I think that we need to do now is to rally behind the whole movement here, decrim. Meaning we need to advocate for decrim so that we are able to push lawmakers or policy developers, makers. That is the first one. Secondly, as religious leaders, we need to advocate for everyone's right. Everyone. Because if we do that, then everyone will understand that everyone is equal. But unfortunately, we are not the same. We are equal, but not the same. Thirdly, is that as Sanarela, our mandate is to be for mankind and change and be the voice of the voiceless. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Where to from here? Ukhulumile ngama road shows. I must tell you now, abefundisi will be there. So ukugqoka amakhola ngenkani.
Thank you very much for that. for that live commitment you are making. I hope there will be more abefundisi abazokjoin Sanarela as well to rally behind decriminalization of sex work. But ours really is to continue to agitate more than anything, to agitate, to make the noise in Durban. We want this to be decriminalized now, because decriminalization is one that has been on the cards for the longest of times. Even before our current president was a president, he actually used this card to campaign. So funny enough, right now, it's still not decriminalized. But ours is to continue working with sex workers and sensitizing them about the decriminalization, about their rights as well. Apart from calling Sisonke, these are my constitutional rights as well. For them to understand why it's important for them to decriminalize the sex work. Because gatherings, the community, politicians, municipalities, etc., they can be able to advocate for themselves to say, decrim of sex work, national only.
Before siphume kuko le ndaba le abazali kakhulu bayakhala ukuthi baworried ngabantwana. I-teenage yokujoina le movement, ingaba abantwana are allowed to be part of this?
Absolutely not. We work with the age group from 18 and above, right? You have to be legal, you must be able to consent. However, when there are cases whereby kunabantwana, because we stand strongly against the trafficking of humans and children.
Okay. We advocate for Ubuntu in every sphere governing human body. We move away from illusions, sex work, whatever, violence, whatever. We are saying that what informs our perceptions as human beings, that's what has been distorted and that is what is missing. So we need to go back to basics as abantu bakwantu. Who are we? We need to understand that. When you know who you are, you understand your environment and you know who your enemies are, because we will not see that in one another, but we'll be able to identify each other as human beings. I would see myself in you as a sex worker as much as you will see yourself in me as Ebuhlanti Ntrom.
Ebuhlanti sithi sukuma ndoda sakhe, ziningi izinto esizokhuluma ngazo kule program and sizovisita each and every community. Igama lami ke ndingomulo Just mangithi nje lapha emakhaya. Ncinzilili